All right, speaking of candle delight, I have a candle by the name of Karen Johnson. She's with Verge Innovation uh, IT company, and I'm going to bring her on. So hang on, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to introduce the psalm and present to others. It's Karen Johnson. Let me get my screen set up here. Got her all small over in the corner. Wait a minute, hold on. Good morning, Karen.
Good morning, Robert. How are you?
I am doing fantastic. So happy to see you this morning on the Marketing Pulpit Show. I am honored to have you here, such a talented young lady. And anytime I can enlighten my audience with a talented person as yourself, I have to give myself a toast. So, toast to you.
Wait,
Toast to
Robert,
you.
thank you for having me.
But why don't you do this? Introduce yourself to our audience. I'm sure they love to know who you are and why I feel so happy to bring you to this platform this morning. So tell us a little bit about yourself, please.
Yes, sure, Robert. Again, my name is Karen Johnson. I am the president and CEO of my own company. It's a cloud computing service company located in Charlotte. We also have a satellite office in DC. So we do a variety of things on our platform. And I'm glad I'm here today to share some of those with you.
All right. I'm just glad and ready to jump right in and find because Karen, I have talked about technology on this show so many times. Matter of fact, I did a show a few weeks ago. I was talking about technology because every time I open the news, open up my screen, there's something happening in technology that somebody either didn't do something, somebody did something wrong. I just found out this morning that Uber has a breach in their system, and it's like we so used to talking about Uber, and, the riders taking off in the woods with somebody when they weren't supposed to, or they getting robbed or hijacked. I said, well, this morning Uber has a different tale to tell, and talking about their system has been breached. So let's talk about information technology for a minute. Why is it so important in the first place to begin with?
Well, technology, Robert, has become a major part in our everyday. People have it in all of their careers mostly because you're some way of working with computers and software. Um, is used to help organizations in a variety of capacities. It helps, tells the organization's functionality. It makes their functionality a little bit more efficiently. And so with technology, there are a lot of let's say windows that you need to be aware of. When you mention that about Uber, perhaps there needs to be some type of training around the users. You have insiders and um, you know what I'm saying? And then you have people trying to come in and do ransomware. So there's a lot to do with technology. You want to make it into a more of a holistic approach
Yes,
when utilizing different platforms.
it sounds like they said one of their employees or contractors had a Slacker account and they got in it through that way. So that sounds like there was an open window for somebody to get in, and somebody wasn't quite watching I don't know if they weren't watching the shop or what, but it seemed like I'm not saying it's an unforced error because this can happen to anybody, but it accents. It brings attention to the fact that these threats are out there and they are real, and it doesn't matter how large your company is or how big a budget you have to be on your P's and Q's all the time. What do you say?
Yes, I agree, Robert. As a small business owner myself, I too was hacked in the early stages. My background was more in database management. And then when this happened to my website, I was like, this isn't supposed to happen to me. I'm in IT. So,
Right, that's right.
since then, I had to rebuild the website, which took more time. And then there was additional costs involved. And all this could have been prevented had I had more security measures around my website. So let's just say now I know better, I do better.
When you learn, I think Maya Angelou said, when you know better, you do better.
Exactly.
Well, I hear this term kicked around a lot, managed cloud services. I mean, people see that's why I like to bring in an expert, because we hear these terms, and some people they hear the terms and they have like a superficial knowledge. I think I know what it means. Help break down some of this terminology so when people hear these terms again, they'll know what it means and how serious they should take one, like I say, managed cloud services. Exactly what is that?
Yeah, managed cloud services, Robert, are services that are they're offered partial or complete management of a client's cloud resources or the infrastructure. Um, Usually, it includes migration, configuration, optimization, security, and maintenance. So these are things that a company don't have to worry about if they're hiring an outsource. It's not that you're taking away from their current IT environment, but you're it's like adding icing on the cake,
Right.
so to speak. You have a particular set of individuals or a company with a certain expertise in that area who can help
Mhm.
you as you continue to just work on growing your business.
Well, let's break it down even further than that. When people say cloud, I've heard people, I make an assumption many times, Karen. People
Mhm.
say cloud, they actually look up in the sky like, is that what the internet is? I mean, what if a plane runs into it?
No, actually, the cloud is, well, they say the cloud because of the internet,
Right.
because you can connect anywhere around the world via the internet. It's usually stacked in someone's server and definitely secured. So a lot of people do get that misconception of uh, being in the cloud. It's not really in the cloud. It's just that's just a statement that was used that came about years ago, when we were talking about internet. So,
You're
and
right.
yeah,
Because in the early days of the internet, that was the word. They'd have little pictures in the ad, they have little pictures of the cloud. And
yeah,
you know, I tell people the cloud just simply means it's not on your local computer, it's up in the internet somewhere.
yeah.
Just
But it's actually in a physical location. So it's on a server in a physical location. It
right.
can either be on your premise or, like say for instance, Salesforce. If we have used Salesforce as our platform of choice, it sits in their data center, or they have a server center that where all
Mhm.
of the information is stored. So it's not really in the cloud.
Right. Well, speaking of Salesforce, what is that's another. I had a client up in the on the floor above me, and we were working on his website. And so we one thing I had to differentiate, had to delineate him different between web services and IT services, that they are not quite the same. There's some overlap, but there's a slight difference, and there's overlaps in areas like email and things like that. And but he was using Salesforce, and so we did a lot of taking some of the information from Salesforce and embedding it into his website. So give us a quick overview, because I know many people have asked me about Salesforce and how it can benefit their company. So tell us about Salesforce, what it is, and how it can benefit a company.
Yeah. So Salesforce is a CRM, which is a customer relationship management tool. And of course, it's in the cloud. So it allows businesses to use cloud technology to better connect with their partners, customers, and potential customers. Think of Salesforce, the platform, like, let's say Microsoft Office.
Hmm.
You know how Microsoft Office has all those different tools. You have Excel, you have
Right.
PowerPoint. Each one is designated to do its own um, capacity or ability. Salesforce has that as well. So you have like Service Cloud, which is where if you want to capture complaints or anything like that from your customers, you can note those, and then your customer service representatives would be able to go in and help assist those in whatever capacity. And you got the Sales Cloud, where you can do your opportunities, your leads, things like that. So the way Salesforce work, it's automated. So let's just say, for instance, I come across someone who could be a possible lead. I enter their information into Salesforce. Then I'll reach out to them the first time. So they say, well, get back to us in a couple of weeks or so. So you can have it set up where you'll receive a notification, say send email, or you can have it set up to just automatically send the email for you to follow up. So it takes away a lot of the manual tasks that you're usually are doing, and you can concentrate on other things like, okay, let me find the next potential customer.
Right.
So yeah, and then there is a misconception about pricing with Salesforce. I like to talk about that as well. Um,
Price, can I afford, can an average Joe?
Yes, you can. So, as a small business, they do have a license called the Essential Business, which is about $25 a month, but you'll pay it on an annual basis, which comes up to about 300. So think about, you're automating some of your tasks that you don't have to go back in and repeat and do in a platform, but there will probably be some form of limited implementation based upon what you want the platform to do. I'm a big fan of Salesforce because I have been utilizing it since 2009. When I first came across it, I was like, ah, I love this, and then you can build onto it. That's one of the things. Now, another thing about Salesforce is they have the paid version for corporations and small businesses, and then there is an unpaid up to a point version for nonprofits. If
Oh,
you are listed as a nonprofit, to my understanding, and don't quote me, but I believe there's a reduced price, or you can receive a limited number of licenses for free.
wow.
So it's really not as expensive as people think. And then the thing I like about it is you can build onto it. And then it has, you know how Apple has their Apple Store?
Hmm.
You have the Apex, where people have, or developers have developed different tools that can integrate with Salesforce with, without any limitation involved. And it's in there. Some of them are, they're paid ones, and then there are some that are free, just like you would buy, Apple apps and stuff like that. So
Well,
it's a great tool.
I'm going to back up a 1 minute on CRM. And just for the people who are really just getting into business, who have not dealt with customer relations at all. But CRM, of course, like you said, customer relationship tool is people, if when you're doing sales and you're trying to build a business, a fatal mistake for many people is to think that person is going to do business with you the first time they call you. You run this nice ad, you went all this time, you got your little graphic design department and your marketing heads together, you run these nice ads, they go out there, they call one time, and then you say, well, that person didn't order. But that is just the beginning of the process. You have to follow that person through your entire journey. And CRM software does that. And Salesforce just happens to be one of those tools that I've worked with. I've seen many people use it. I mean, there's some others out there. But if you are going to grow your business and
Yeah.
nurture those customers, and even when they purchase, the job is still not over. You got to follow them when they quit, when they come back on, when they refer somebody. That is part of that building that ecosystem that is so important in the development of a company. And you cannot do this manually. I'm telling you, it's going to drive you crazy. You will lose so much business and pull so many hairs out of your head trying to do this manually with all these different little 50 little cheap programs you can get on the internet. You can't do it. I'm telling you, it's going to hurt you. Am I overstating it?
Yeah, that's true. Because Robert, as well diverse as I've been in technology, I too suffered in the beginning of business because I, as a person that who's just did technology, I was still learning on how to run my business and operate it. Well, I've lost a couple of property opportunities because I did not follow up. And the platform is so robust, it allows you to follow up. All you have to do is say, well, I want you to follow up with this um, customer in about 2 weeks. And then say in between that, you're sending out an email campaign. So of
Mhm.
course you can include them in that. It's just so many different things that you can do without sitting there. Oh, let me run around and see what I'm supposed to do today. You set the system up right and it works for you. But you got to make sure the team that you have come in takes the time to understand your business and how you work your processes, and then be able to implement that properly. Because a lot of times people will come in and say, oh yeah, give them this, do this and that, and don't even take the time to learn how they want things to go. So I think that's very important too, the tool itself, but yet behind the tool you need a good team to help you support that tool. And so that's where we come in. So I have a team of experts all across the world, and in various capacities within Salesforce, that can come in and help you implement that tool. There are prices that even start at 2,500, and they can go up depending on the customization that you want.
Mhm.
It's just such a remarkable tool. And I guess when I talk about it, I become very passionate because I've seen it. For the newcomer, it's very overwhelming. So I would suggest starting with a quick, what we call a quick start package, with maybe about 2,500 or up to 5,000 based on the hours that we would spend implementing, and just do something simple with it. And then you can see your return on this investment.
I'm gonna jump in here because when you throw out a number like 2,500, I know sometimes to a new business they go into like sticker shock right away. But
Yes.
we talked on this show many times about what we call lifetime value. When you get a customer, and if that's a good customer, the lifetime value, which simply means how much money they're going to spend with you over the course of your engagement with them, that is like a fraction of what you can make from a good customer. My average customer probably spends about $7,000 or $8,000 over the course of a year. Some go up to $25,000. That $2,500 investment, that's not just going to be on one customer. That will cover your entire spectrum of customers. And think about the lifetime value multiplied by 10, 20. That small investment can be the difference between your business being successful and not. So one of the things I've admonished people about, don't be penny wise and pound foolish. Don't be sitting there saying to myself, oh my goodness, if I spend this, I can't get those new uniforms. I can't get the new carpet put on. I can't get the, those things aren't going to happen if you don't have customers. They just won't happen. You got to put that money where you're going to get a return. Let me ask you this about now, Salesforce. You are a Salesforce partner. Is that what you call it?
Well, I'm not a fully partner yet.
Okay.
I am certified in
Certified. That's what I mean. Okay. I'm Salesforce certified. So
Yes.
you help people who are trying to get the Salesforce system set up within their organization.
Yes, and I also sell the licenses too. So
Okay.
if you want to come through us to buy the license, you can. One of the things that I do encourage is, if for nonprofits, it's definitely worth the wait, worth the wait and go, because um, I had set up one customer. They were able to get 10 licenses. Now things can change. Don't quote me, like I said, and say have Salesforce calling me and say, "Why are you telling this?" Everyone that is. But for this particular customer, they were able to receive um, 10 licenses, now cost. And we went in and we just configured it and customized the platform to meet their needs, which was an asset tracking system that they wanted during the course of, at the high time of COVID. They were testing, and then they started doing vaccination. So they had to keep equipment and things like that, and they wanted to track it. So it was easy to implement it for them. So
Got
I
a
would
couple
just
more quick questions for you before we run out of time here. Now,
yes.
security awareness training. Now, security has been a problem on the internet since the internet has been around. And it doesn't seem to be getting any better. It's actually getting worse. Explain that to us and what that means, and how are you involved in that?
Yeah, yes, Robert. So that's one of the services that we offer, security awareness training. So you asked that. That's to inform your end users, who are your biggest asset, but they can also be your biggest risk. Of just training them on and rising the awareness of various internal and external security risks to the organizations, like sending emails or clicking on a link that
Mm,
takes you out, and then there you have ransomware.
mm,
Uh, yeah, and that's, see, people look at cybersecurity as someone trying to get in. That is true. Someone is trying to get in and access your network, your processes, and your data. But also, you have some people who are not so nice, and maybe going somewhere else and want to take proprietary information with them, or just want to, they have a manager that they may hate, and they say, I'm going to do this and make their job harder. That's where you call insider threat.
mm,
So the thing about it is to educate everyone, and that's one of the things that we encourage here at Verge. Educate people. Don't just give them a tool. Educate them on, show them how it's going to work and benefit from them, so that you can continue on and work throughout your day without limited interruptions. um, that's a lot of money to be spending on ransomware.
oh my
If you go to
God.
my website, I have a little short video that talks about it. A gentleman, he says, well, should I click on this or not? So the thing I like about our platform, it makes it interactive. That keeps your interest in there. And so yeah, that's very important now. I think that should be on the top of every organization's list after deciding the infrastructure, to make certain that it's all secure.
let's I want you to get before I ask the last question, quickly give us your email, your web address while
Oh,
before I bring up
yes.
the last question.
Okay, it's www.vergenovation.com. You can
Okay.
either reach us on email at info@vergeinnovation.com, or you can just, give us a call at 704-606-0644. We'll be happy to have a conversation with you, put you in front of some of our experts, and go from there.
That's VRGENNOVAT.
Yeah, it's Verge Innovation. So someone took the IN part of it and they're holding it hostage. So I had to be creative and say Verge Innovation. So
Okay. All right.
yeah.
I just put it on the feed, and so anybody who's looking for you, I've put it on the feed of the show, so anybody can reach out, and we'll have you to repeat it again at the end. I understand that whole thing about domains. Matter of fact, I think it was maybe last week we talked about domains and the importance. I've been trying to get gatewood.com for probably about 20 years now. And there was an old guy down in Texas. He'd been running for governor forever. He finally passed away, rest his soul. Then his daughter got the domain and they won't give it up. I mean, I've tried, I've gone through brokers and everybody. They will not give up. I just want I have Gatewood Marketing, Gatewood Biz, Gatewood Info, Gatewood MBA, I got 100 different variations of Gatewood. I want gatewood.com, but sometimes he just beat you to the punch. So I know what you mean.
Yeah, so you have to be creative. So
That's
yeah.
right. That's exactly right. Lastly, but not least, let's talk about e-learning and why people should jump on this train.
Well, with COVID and everything that happened, everyone was stuck, working virtually. And so one of the things that's a passion for me is teaching. You have to be creative and innovative when you're doing it now, especially with the new millennials and everyone coming up. Even myself, not being a millennial, can get bored sitting there going through PowerPoints or sitting there listening to someone. I like interaction. So e-learning is where we develop and meet the customer where they are. We have gamification, video animation, simulations, and things like that. So it makes you feel like you're really in there, and it kind of sticks better than just reading a PowerPoint. E-learning is going to be the next big thing coming out, and better jump on board. It's really I'll say this, and I'm speaking from experience. It benefits, especially when you're giving it into small chunks. So let's
Right.
just say if it's an hour long video, right? Or hour
Hmm.
long presentation, give it to me in small chunks, maybe 3 to 4 minutes. And let me pick up on that and then go to the next video so that it
Right.
will soak better.
Well,
That's just
Karen,
one example.
this has been great. What I like people to know that we have these resources in our community, and Marketing Pulpit is honored and proud to bring talented people like yourself to our platform and educate them and let them know that there are resources out here to tackle some of these challenges. When you decide to go into business, you just can't go out here and say, look, because I read something on the internet or I Googled this or I got this free little seminar that I'm prepared to tackle some of these really monumental challenges like security, like CRM and things like that. You set it up right the first time. You go ahead and take the hit. There's going to be some costs involved, but it's going to pay for you in the end. I'm telling you, that's how I grew my business because I'm not penny wise and pound foolish. I believe you have to invest in the things if you just think about, are you serious about business? That's the question you have to ask yourself. You just playing business, you're going to be like everybody else. You're going to go out here, do it a couple of years. Next thing you know, you're out of business. So invest, go to the experts, and we have one of the experts here this morning. Give us one more time how people can reach you,
Okay,
Karen.
sure, Robert. Info at V as in Victor, ERGENOVATION.com, or you can give us a call, 704-606-0644. We'll be happy to assist.
Karen, thank you, and I'll be looking forward to see you the next time you're in the Washington D.C. area, and hope everything's going well down in Carolinas. And tell everybody down there hello. And
All
we'll
right.
see you soon. And thank you again. Any parting words before you go?
Thank you, Robert. I really appreciate the opportunity to be able to come and explain. I'm getting ready to set up a tech talk where I'll just have put little tidbits out there, because a
Okay.
lot of people still don't understand this big world of technology. And so what I want to do is inform them. So it'll be coming soon and I'll let you know when.
All right. We got people chiming in. Thurman Jerry, he's a big tax guy. He has three, 4 locations in the DC area. He just tuned in, said good information. Thank you, Thurman. And we have other comments coming in also. And that's a good guy. You might want to talk to him too, because man, he's always dealing with technology. He has a technology background, but he may need some help. So hopefully maybe he'll reach out to you.
We can all learn from each other. Yeah,
That's
that's
exactly right. All right, Thurman.
I'm
Thanks
gonna reach
again.
out.
Karen, thank you. We'll talk to you soon, okay?
All right. Have a good one, Robert, and happy
All right.
Friday.
Happy Friday. All right, folks. That was Karen Johnson from Verge Innovation. Hope you were able to pick up some tidbits. I know I did. And this show will be available on the online, of course, as always. All of our shows, you can get it at marketingpulpit.com. I'm going to take another